Gonzaga's offense has been historic. They've shot a record-breaking 63.7% on two-point attempts. And at times, it's almost felt like the opponent doesn't even matter. As much as people like to pick on Gonzaga's conference, they're actually shooting about 4% higher in non-conference play than in the WCC this season. For example, against Virginia's pack line, the Zags went 66% from inside the arc, the highest percentage by any Virginia opponent all season. Against Kansas, they shot 77%. That's not just the highest this year, that's the highest ever against Bill Self. And the Elite Eight was just the latest example. USC ranked #1 in the country in two-point percentage defense coming into the game, but the Zags cruised yet again. At first glance, Gonzaga's success is a little odd. Let's compare them to the other recent dominant two-point offenses. Obi Toppin and Dayton did it by playing above the rim. The Flyers averaged 5.8 dunks per game, which is a pretty surefire way to produce an offense with an elite two-point percentage. On the other hand, Villanova did it with the three-pointer. The Wildcats had so many great three-point threats, they stretched the defense way out beyond the perimeter, opening up the paint for efficient two-pointers. But Gonzaga's different. They don't really shoot a lot of threes, and they don't get a lot of dunks. So how do they do it?
Listen, this team shares it, and this team has as good a passers and movers. We've never had anything like this, the way they play the game, and so many willing passers and movers that I think it's hard to scout us and game plan for us, because so many of our plays are just based off reads and feel and things like that, not maybe like a set play.
The answer is passing. All 5 guys are a threat for the Zags, and all 5 guys read the defense at an extremely high level. In this video, we'll look at that passing, and also 2 other words that start with P that are important to Gonzaga's offense. Oklahoma, Creighton, and USC all tried very different defensive game plans against Gonzaga, so I'll walk you through those and then how the Zags adjusted to them. I'll also break down their best passer and why that player is so important for their ball screen offense. Which Gonzaga player that is might actually surprise you. The channel's been doing awesome since the tournament started, so thank you so much for your support. I really appreciate it, and please hit those like and subscribe buttons so we can keep it going. The first place you have to start when scouting Gonzaga is transition. Mark Few's teams normally play fast, but this is his fastest team ever. When Jalen Suggs gets a rebound, he's looking for that long outlet pass down the court he's so good at making for an easy basket. On top of that, all 5 Gonzaga players are capable of leading the break, including big man Drew Timme. By not having to waste time in the backcourt to find a point guard, their grab-and-go style of transition offense can turn a rebound into an open 3 or a layup in a matter of seconds. When Suggs pushes the ball himself, he loves the drop-off pass to a trail shooter, usually Corey Kispert. By hunting for Kispert transition threes, it makes it very hard for the defense to simultaneously take away the paint while still getting out on these drop-offs. Watch how the BYU defender is glued to Kispert instead of being in help. That opens up the paint for the drive. And here it's the opposite. Ayayi's cut sucks the defense in, leading to the catch-and-shoot 3. Seemingly everyone on the roster has this Euro step finish at the rim and can take matters into their own hands by straight line driving to the basket. So put all those skills together, then combine it with great passing, and you have one of the most lethal transition offenses we've ever seen. Now when it comes to half-court offense, obviously the Zags have 2 All-Americans in Kispert and Timme, and an NBA lottery pick in Suggs. But the player that Mark Few has called his best ball screen decision maker ever might surprise you.
He's the best I've ever coached as far as, making decisions in ball screens. So we wanted to put him in as many as we could, and he did a great job executing them, and the guys did a great job catching and finishing. We had some good cuts going.
Andrew Nembhard is a ball screen maestro. He's always under control, using changes of pace and his body to keep defenders on his back and wait for the roll to develop. And he's a master at manipulating the help. When Nembhard's coming off the screen, you can almost see him processing the defense's coverage in real time. He'll lure the defense into helping on the roll and then just hit the spot-up shooter instead. Because of all of Gonzaga's weapons, Nembhard doesn't really have to be a scorer, but he is capable of calling his own number too. In the Sweet 16, he even had a couple of baskets off of post-ups. Jalen Suggs is a great passer in his own right, but with a much different style of play. The freshman star is an attacker, using bursts of speed to get downhill. And after the help steps up, he's great at making the dump-off pass to his teammate. The two guards form a great duo. Nembhard is like a surgeon, probing and manipulating the defense. Suggs is the aggressor, blowing by the defense. Because of that duo, Oklahoma tried to hedge the Gonzaga ball screens, jumping out on Nembhard and making him pick the ball up on the perimeter. One of the challenges with hedging is now you need to recover. With Timmy and Watson's great chemistry passing on the inside, Oklahoma had no time to get back to even. This play is vintage Nembhard. He's forced to pick the ball up on the logo, but watch how he patiently draws Reeves to Timmy, then draws him back towards Ayayi, only to then lob the pass right to Timmy anyways. Again, Suggs' mentality is very different. Here, instead of looking to pass against the hedge, he keeps his dribble alive, and then just attacks the basket. Gonzaga's next opponent, Creighton, tried a very different strategy.
It's not anything we haven't seen before. They were playing soft and going under some guys, and those guys have dealt with that all year. They were, I think, probably when you guard us, you got to pick your poison a little bit. Joel was shooting 40% from three, and the first three went in, I think, and even the ones that didn't go in looked pretty good to me.
Creighton went under Ayayi and Nembhard ball screens, just daring them to shoot the three. Which, as Mark Few said, it's not like those guys are bad shooters, but you sort of have to pick your poison against the Zags. But the Creighton coverage was even more extreme than just going under. If an offensive player got into the paint, Creighton essentially just filled the entire area with everyone except the guy guarding Corey Kispert. Sometimes 4 defenders on the ball, daring the three-pointer. Clearly the coverage is designed to take away the paint, but it also theoretically takes away Nembhard's decision-making ability. In other words, Creighton was making the decision for him. With Ayayi constantly being left open, there was no other choice to make.
It's just the way we move our parts off the ball, and guys can't get off of Corey when he's lifting, so it just makes the other guys make it so much easier for us to play that two-man game because they're moving and they're distracting the help side defense for sure. So it's just basically like 2-on-2.
The problem for that Creighton game plan was Corey Kispert. Their whole strategy was to help off of everyone except Kispert, but when Timmy was rolling towards Kispert's man, because Creighton didn't want to help, Nembhard took advantage. Kispert's off-ball movement lifts the defense and opens up the two-man game, just like Nembhard was talking about. As we've seen, ball screens power the Gonzaga offense. But Drew Timme in the post is also important to Gonzaga's success. He's their best one-on-one scorer. He can finish over either the left shoulder or the right shoulder. He has fantastic footwork and finishing, and the versatility to handle the ball out on the perimeter. Timme's abilities in the post allows a player like Nembhard to be so patient, because Gonzaga always has a safety blanket to go to if necessary. If a ball screen stalls out, then the defense has to decide whether to double or play it straight up. If you double him, they'll cut and pass to the open man. If you play straight up, he'll finish right over you. In the Elite Eight, the Zags went up against USC and their elite shot blocker, Evan Mobley. But again, they picked the USC zone defense apart, flashing a variety of different players into the high post while a big sealed underneath. Just from watching that game, you would have never known that USC was the #1 ranked two-point percentage defense in the entire country. It's just the latest dominant performance for one of the best offenses in college basketball history. Whether Gonzaga wins or loses, I'll have more analysis coming on the entire Final Four in our Hoop Vision newsletter. That link is in the description for all of your college basketball X's and O's and analytics needs. See you in the next video.
There's so many ways that they can beat you. Obviously they're elite scoring at the basket and at the rim. They had 50 points in the paint on us again today, and that's with us trying to take that part of their game away. So I think it's their balance. I've said it in preparation for this game. It's one of the best passing teams I've seen, 1 through 5 in that starting lineup in college basketball in a long time.